I love how before the sun totally comes up, the clarity that you can see that night and stuff, you know?
And like I said, it wouldn't have changed if you had set up your tent. Good morning. It's 5:47. Been on trail for 30 minutes probably or so. Let's see. All of us had condensation or dew or whatever on all of our gear, especially our quilts. So we'll be drying all that out today. Yay. So the road's still coming up. Today's gonna be about 17, 18 miles. It's cool. And not much else to report. We had a hike out of the store yesterday after waiting for Phil. So it was a late night, got in late. So didn't record when I got there. That's different. Popular place. Especially this early in the morning. Okay, finally in the woods for a little bit. Been on rocks and like rocky paths that are not comfortable to walk on. It looks like we'll be back on the rocks in a minute. It's 8:42 in the morning, and I've seen probably 15-day hikers already. It's a very popular place. Water crossing. That does not look fun. I'm gonna go upstream a little bit. Okay, I crossed it. That's how wet I got. While I'm on Flat Trail, I thought I'd talk about Phil a little bit. So I hiked with Phil through Mission Creek in the sketchy San Gorgonia area with a couple of girls from Austria. And then this group kind of started hiking with Phil, I want to say after Tehachapi, maybe Ridge Crest, one of those. He's funny. He's very funny to be around. Anyway, when we flipped up to Costella to hike, he decided to go ahead and go into the Sierra with our friends Mummy and Hobbs. So I think I had heard from, Hoosier, but I don't remember for sure, that he tried to summit Mount Whitney, fell 30 feet and had to self-arrest. And he didn't finish Mount Whitney. He went back down after that. And then a few days later, he was hiking with them over Mather Pass, water crossing, and Mummy broke her leg going down Mather Pass. Let me see if I have to cross this. I think I see a trail over there. I did have to cross it. That's how wet I got that time. They need to make bridges over these things. Okay, sorry about that. Wanted to make sure I was on trail. Far Out didn't say I needed to cross that stream, and it had it listed as a seasonal stream. So, very confusing. Anyway, Mummy broke her leg going down Mather Pass. So Hobbs and Phil both stayed with her for 6 hours for her to be rescued. So then he said he took Bishop Pass out of there, which took another day and was sketchy. And then went wherever, I'm not sure which town. Then he rented a car and went home for a while. He had been keeping contact with Hoosier and had Hoosier let him know when we would be in Mammoth Lakes, and he would meet us there and hike with us, and he would just skip like the sketchy section of the Sierra that we had already done that he hadn't. And I don't blame him for that. Anyway, so met him in Mammoth Lakes. He went out with us 3 days ago, I guess it was at this point. He probably lost all of his acclimation to the altitude, but he struggled the first day, he said. And then yesterday, Donahue Pass was awful. He and Smalls went up it together. Smalls said he had to pull her up one of the boulders because there was a boulder scramble to get up to Donahue Pass. I couldn't record it because obviously I was by myself and trying to not, fall off of a boulder to do it. But it was very sketchy. And he said it's just not what he wants to do. So he made it to the store. We all waited for him because that was where our meetup spot was going to be. And Small said he was already saying he might get off trail. We knew he couldn't hike 6 more miles to a tent site and stuff. So he probably got a ride out from there and he's going to go home. So he's quit the trail. He gave it another shot. Good for him. We're going to miss him. Phil is so funny. I never captured on camera, but he's one of those people, honestly. Anytime he opens his mouth, you should just be recording. It's so funny. So we're going to miss you, Phil. Not that you would ever see this, but I enjoyed hiking with you. I appreciated you always making me laugh, or all of us laugh. Even if it wasn't on purpose, I don't know. Now I gotta cross Spiller Creek, which at least looks much nicer up here than it did down there. It was gushing. Okay, I made it across. That's how wet I got. Now I have a super steep climb for a while. So I'm just gonna put my head down and start chugging along. Okay, I'm walking back. I'm gonna get some water. This is the last water source before camp, except a lake, like at the top of the climb. Okay, I'm back to walking. Chugged some water, filled my bottle, made some protein powder, drink mix. I have 1.1 miles of very steep uphill. There's snow up here. Oh, you can't see that patch. We're over 9,000 feet in elevation. Snow. I have about 4/10 of a mile left to go up this steep hill. 10:32. I made it over the steep part of that climb. I'm not at my highest elevation of the day, but I'm about 9,560 feet right now. It's tiring. Got some ups and downs, and then descend to camp, which is only 3.7 miles away, I think. Doesn't sound right, but I think it is. So 17 miles? I don't know. Anyway, I might hike on after that. We'll see. It's 10:53. I stopped for lunch, decided to dry out my quilt, which is over there. I'm gonna have some tuna on tortillas for lunch. That is Miller Lake. You can see logs in the water. It's pretty clear. Looks brown, but pretty clear. Well, I was incorrect. That lake back there was not Miller Lake and didn't have a marking on far out. That lake up there is Miller Lake. Man, she was warm enough to go swimming. I guess it is though. Temperature 73. I guess I already went through 3 creek crossings. That was my swimming for the day. I made it to the top, or my highest elevation of the day, I should say. 9,600 something. Sorry, it was steep for a second there. And I'm still having a hard time catching my breath on these uphills. Beautiful view coming up. I'll show you when I get there. I have cell phone service. I like to check when I get to the top of like places. I didn't have cell phone service at Tuolumne store either. I think that climb wore me out. Wow. After this little flat area, I have about 1 more mile of super steep descent to camp, and then take a break and consider hiking on. There's a chance of rain tomorrow, I think starting at 11. I'd rather not go over Benson Pass in the rain, so I'll check the weather again and make a decision. Okay, half a mile from camp. Well, the original campsite. Sorry, mud. Lots of mud. There were probably 7 or 8 water sources since I started that climb earlier at the creek when I said that was the last water before the end of the day. There's so much water. There are 3 going up and a couple up top and 2 or 3 coming down. It's 12:05. Wait, one from our originally planned campsite. See if I can put Bob down here somewhere. Oh, there's the creek, so there's Campton. Oh. Sorry, I zoomed in on Friday, I should say. I crossed the creek and then the campsite's on the other side. So I was mistaken. Wait. I don't flippin' know anymore. Alright, cross the creek. Hope this is the trail. Okay, I've done 17.5 miles so far. Still no sign of corn pop. I'm checking the weather on my Garmin right now. And I'll just message everybody if I decide to hike on since corn pop's not here to ask. And he has a Garmin now, so he should have messaged if he hiked on. Okay, it's 12:57. I just walked away from camp, decided to hike on. I messaged Corn Pop, asked, "Where are you?" No reply. But I figured since we're kind of in the middle of big mountains, maybe just they were being slow. So I messaged Hoosier. He hadn't heard from Corn Pop. He's 1.5 miles away though. So I just said I'm gonna hike on and they don't have to come if they don't want to, obviously. And then let Smalls know. So, okay, hiking on. After all of that, I think I was at the wrong campsite. And it was 0.3 further down the trail. I even swear I double checked.
You know, we were waiting for snow to melt and all that.
Yes.
It doesn't make sense to stop it.
Oh, well, of course. Okay, guys, it's 83 degrees. I really want to go swimming in this. Man, it looks so nice. It is so hot out here. I stopped a second to go and wet my... Whew, feels good. My sleeves and stuff. Anyway, steep climb. Our Garmins are being super slow. So, Hoosier and Smalls know we're moved on to 966.5, but I don't actually know if the messages have gone through yet. And Corn Pop messaged me back, and I didn't get him until I was halfway up this climb too, so whoops. Check it out. Sandy beaches on the top of a mountain. I'm already almost dry. I'm gonna go wet my sleeves again. Okay, I'm 9/10 of a mile from the new campsite. About to start. That was a big climb. So, yay. I made it to camp. Alright, here's camp. We've actually been here I've been here for about 30 minutes. I have a bit of a rash by my legs. It started when I did the detour around Evolution Creek, so I went and cleaned my legs off. Or not cleaned them, but soaked them, I should say. And then Corn Pop's over there soaking his knees. The steep descents are hurting her knees. So anyway, I'm gonna set up camp now.